The birth and childhood of Prophet Muhammad. The year is 570 CE. The city of Mecca rests under the vast Arabian sky. On this day, history changes. A child is born to Amina bint Wahb. They name him Muhammad, meaning the praised one. Muhammad was born fatherless. His father Abdullah died before his birth. He was an orphan from the start. At 6 years old, he lost his mother during a journey back from Medina. Now completely orphaned, young Muhammad was cared for by his grandfather Abdul Muttalib, then his uncle Abu Talib. Life was humble, far from luxury, but filled with love. He grew up honest, truthful, and trustworthy. People called him Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Without formal education or wealth, Muhammad's character shone bright. Gentle, patient, and often deep in thought, as if destined for a great mission. Adolescence and marriage to Khadija. Muhammad grew into a young man unlike others. Honest, hardworking, and reserved. Instead of joining wild parties, he preferred solitude and reflection. He worked as a shepherd, learning patience and responsibility. Later, he joined his uncle's trading caravans to Syria, where his honesty earned great respect. Khadija, a wealthy and respected merchant, noticed his integrity and hired him to lead her trade caravans. Impressed by his character, she proposed marriage, even though she was 15 years his senior. Their marriage was simple but full of love and respect. Together, they had 6 children. Khadija was not only his wife, but his greatest supporter and protector. The first revelation and beginning of prophethood. At 40 years old, Muhammad's heart was troubled by the corruption around him, idol worship, oppression, and moral decay. He often retreated to the cave of Hira for quiet reflection. One night, the angel Jibril appeared, commanding, "Read." Though illiterate, Muhammad was overwhelmed. Jibril repeated the command 3 times, delivering the first verses of the Quran. Terrified, Muhammad returned home trembling. His wife Khadija comforted him and sought guidance from Waraka ibn Nawfal, who confirmed Muhammad's role as a prophet. That night marked the beginning of a mission that would change humanity forever. Early preaching and persecution in Mecca. Muhammad began preaching quietly to close friends and family. Khadija was the first believer, followed by Ali, Abu Bakr, and others. Soon, he called out openly, warning Mecca to abandon idol worship. The Quraysh tribe reacted with anger and ridicule. His followers faced brutal persecution. Some were tortured, like Bilal, and others martyred, like Sumaya. Despite insults and physical attacks, Muhammad remained patient and peaceful. The year Abu Talib and Khadija passed away was called the Year of Sorrow, but Muhammad's resolve remained unbroken. Isra and Miraj, the night journey. Amid hardship, Allah granted Muhammad an extraordinary gift, the Isra and Miraj. In a single night, Muhammad was transported from Mecca to Jerusalem, where he led the prophets in prayer. Then, he ascended through the 7 heavens, meeting angels and prophets, until he received the command for Muslims to pray 5 times daily. This miraculous journey strengthened his faith and the faith of his followers. The Hijra to Medina, beginning of a new era. Persecution in Mecca intensified. The city was no longer safe for Muhammad and his followers. By divine instruction, Muhammad migrated to Yathrib, later known as Medina, marking the start of a new Muslim community. He and Abu Bakr traveled cautiously, hiding in the cave of Thor to evade enemies. In Medina, Muhammad established a society based on justice and mutual respect with the Charter of Medina, uniting tribes and religions. Battles and defense of the community. As Islam grew, threats from Meccan tribes escalated. The Battle of Badr was a decisive victory for the outnumbered Muslims, boosting morale and influence. However, the Battle of Uhud was a setback due to some disobedience, but determination endured. During the Battle of the Trench, a strategic ditch protected Medina from siege, showcasing new military tactics. Throughout, Muhammad emphasized ethical conduct. No harm to women, children, or property. The conquest of Mecca. 8 years after the Hijrah, Muhammad led a large Muslim force back to Mecca. But instead of revenge, he showed mercy, entering the city peacefully. He cleansed the Kaaba of idols, declaring it a house of monotheistic worship once again. Former enemies were forgiven, turning victory into a triumph of compassion. The passing of Prophet Muhammad. After performing his final pilgrimage, Muhammad delivered a farewell sermon urging justice, unity, and faith. He said, "I leave behind 2 things, the Quran and my Sunnah. Hold fast to them." A few months later, in Aisha's home, he fell ill and passed away at age 63. Though saddened, Muslims knew the message of Islam would endure. The eternal legacy of Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad left the world the greatest legacy, the Quran and the Sunnah, guiding principles for millions. His teachings of justice, compassion, and peace have shaped civilizations for over 1,400 years. From east to west, his influence continues in law, culture, spirituality, and science. He is remembered not only as a prophet, but as the perfect human, a mercy to all creation. His life story remains a timeless beacon of devotion, sacrifice, and hope.